you?
Good. How are you?
I am great. Oh, it's so nice to meet you.
You too.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love love the hats in the corner.
Oh, thanks. I've always been a big fan of hats. I have lots of them.
Love it.
My mom loved hats.
Oh,
But let's talk about you, because
yeah.
this is so exciting. Introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your company.
Okay. So my name is Ruth Chin, and I'm the owner and lead designer of Ruth Chin Events. Ruth Chin Events is a luxury floral and floral stylings business. And what I mean by floral stylings, because a lot of people wonder what I mean when I say that term, is we love florals. Like florals are our love language. Love it, like just love flowers. But sometimes you need that little bit of extra to make sure that the flowers really stand out. And that might mean making sure, the signage is the right color or maybe the right theme of what everything is. So to make sure that everything has a really cohesive look, we try to get involved with our clients and say, hey, what are you going to do for signage? Or hey, what are you thinking for the layout of the room, or candles and things like that. So although we're a floral company, we do try to take a more active approach to help them and give that extra eye, just to make sure that the whole room looks cohesive and that everything comes together really nicely. Because the last thing we would want is the flowers to just be on the table and then it not shine the way that it should shine.
Yeah, I actually love that about your company. Not only do you do florals, but you also, rent vessels and signage and things like that. And that's something that, is really attractive to, a bride or a client, where they can kind of like one-stop shop, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. So it's an ease of service, but it's also just the fact of there are people who really want to get a specific theme across, and they really want to have, like a boho chic theme or like a really glamorous theme. And by us being able to take a part of and kind of dissect everything and kind of go, okay, this is what we think you should do for signage, or maybe set up the tables this way instead of, round tables. Just offering a little bit of insight and taking a more hands-on approach, I feel really lends itself to creating a design that might have beautiful flowers, but because the whole room itself looks just so gorgeous, everything gets elevated, and then they're happier in the end and we're happier in the end too, because we get really beautiful pictures of great work.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, of course. And I actually love on your website you say I'm so in love with love.
Yeah.
And I think that probably follows through from start to finish when a client books your services and then follow through. I just talking to you now, I could see the passion in your eyes, and I love that about you.
Yeah, I love what I do. I've been very blessed to have such amazing couples and amazing clients, and ones that like stay around even after the wedding, who will keep in touch. I just saw one today actually. So I'm really, it's really exciting, and we have great people, and I love weddings. I tell my husband all the time, if I could get married every single day, I would do it. It was the best day of my life.
Aww.
And getting to be a part of other people's weddings, and it just makes me so happy. I love it so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think inspires you? I mean, other than your client, obviously, but what makes Ruth excited about an event?
Yeah, I really try to pull from, and we talk about this on the website as well, but I really try to pull from real life events or real life things. So I'll look at, like the fashion industry, or maybe I went to someone's house and I saw this color palette that I had never even thought flowers could work in that sense. So like, how can I take a flower in this palette that maybe is not so usual and kind of change it and make it into something more different? I love classic florals. I have such respect for them, but I also love kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit and using dried elements and different elements like feathers or pampas grass, or things that maybe aren't traditionally used in wedding flowers, but trying to pull things and make things that have life and things that don't, like candles and things, come together to paint this picture that maybe flowers couldn't do by themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's your aesthetic, and also I think that shows through on your website because it's super pretty. And I love it. Now I know you're Tamil.
Yes.
But I want to talk. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to kind of touch on how you feel. I mean, you're in Canada.
Yes.
And there's only 4% of Tamil people that live in Canada.
Mm.
So I'm sure as a florist, I mean, there's not many Tamil
Yeah.
people that are florists in Canada. How,
Yeah.
how do you set yourself apart from everyone else?
So to be honest, to this day, I still haven't met a Tamil florist. So if anybody's listening and they're Tamil, feel free to message me. So I've never walked into a room and been like, oh, this is someone who looks exactly like me, you know? But one of the things is the area where I live. So I live in Toronto, or right beside Toronto. And so there's a lot of Tamil people in Toronto. So I've always had Tamil people around me, but as I started to get into the industry, I realized there's not really, not just Tamils, but to colored people, to be honest, in general,
Yeah.
in the industry, in this flower industry. And so I try to set myself apart. You know what? I always say, I want my work to stand out. So more
Yeah.
than anything, I want people to come across my website, come across my Instagram, and fall in love with the work. And I would hope that we would live, I guess, in a world where it wouldn't matter who was behind the florals and who was behind the person, that the florals would speak for themselves.
Yeah.
But I do feel that I would say it's harder to feel that I'm represented in the community. And so it takes a little bit more push, I feel, to kind of show that it's me, it's Ruth. And you know, for a long time, and I actually talked about this on my Instagram a little while ago, I was kind of scared to show my face. And I've also put on a lot of weight, so that kind of contributed to the changing of how I looked. And I talked about this in one of my Instagram posts, that I hid a lot. And for a lot of my Instagram posts, I didn't show my face. I didn't talk about who I was, nothing. It was just the flowers, and that was it. And I went to a conference and I realized how important it was that people really knew who I was. And so it was very scary, but I decided to put out the post, and I put a picture of myself, and I was so touched by the response that people gave me, of just being so sweet and so welcoming and just so warm. And it's funny because my name is Ruth Chin. Obviously I wasn't born Chin. My husband is Chinese Jamaican. And so people never expect to see me when they come to a consultation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that was like another factor, and they're like, they kind of most likely expect, you know, an Asian woman. And I open the door and it's like, hey, I'm they're like, what? So yeah, so it's funny, right? Like, I really wanted to stand out. I love what I do, and I would hope that my work stands out, but I definitely feel like right now, with the platform that we have, it's time to even emphasize who we are, and be loud and
for
proud,
sure,
and not hide anything, you know?
Yeah. And that's the whole point of this. You know, we want to celebrate, you know, the people of color, and, you know, get it out there for, you know, anyone who's willing to listen.
Yeah.
But I know that you said that your parents were from Sri Lanka.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how they migrated to Canada.
Yeah. So like I mentioned a little before, we have a really large Tamil population in Toronto. And so we had a lot of other family here. And I was born here, but my sister was actually born in Bahrain, which is right beside Saudi Arabia. My mom was there for work, and my dad was living there too. So my dad and my sister came to Canada. Then my mom came to Canada. And then I think a year right after my mom came, I was born here. And so Canada is like my home. I don't know anything, but I love being able to go back to Sri Lanka. We don't go that often because it's very far. But the one time that we did go was beautiful, and it's great. Like, I mean, I love being Tamil. And it's fun. I really, you know, I don't know where, I realize that I'm kind of blessed in the sense that I'm from Toronto, and so there's so many different cultures in Toronto. Literally, you go outside, there's every single culture you can imagine. And so I've always grown up around people who were different than me, always. And we always celebrated that. You know, when I see someone wearing a Tamil outfit, like the sari, I get really excited. I'm like, they're not Tamil, they're embracing that culture, and they're saying, hey, you know, like, we love that this is a Tamil thing, and I'm going to wear it or showcase it. And so I really feel lucky to be from Toronto, where I get to enjoy all of these different cultures. Like I said, my husband is Chinese Jamaican, so I get a little bit of the Chinese culture, I get a little bit of Jamaican culture. My best friend is Italian, so, you know, it's really fun. You get to be a part of so many different things, and you get to try different foods and learn different lifestyle traditions. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the US is a melting pot of all sorts of diversity. And I think, you know, especially in the floral industry. I mean, it's tough. What were some of your hurdles, do you think, that you had to overcome through your career?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, when you walk into a room and everybody looks a certain way except for you, even if no one's being mean to you or no one's, saying like, hey, look at that girl who stands out, it's a thought that's constantly running through your head. And for me, every time I've gone to a conference or every time I've gone to a workshop, I feel I walk into the room and I'm the token brown girl. I'm right there, and I stick out. If we do a group shot, you can see where Ruth is right away because everyone looks a certain way except for me. And so it's hard being confident in a business where you feel that everybody looks a certain way. All of the people who've really succeeded in the business look a certain way. And then you're here coming in with maybe some new ideas, some new, wanting to push the boundaries a bit, but you don't look like everybody else. So it's hard to have, I feel, deep connections right away. I mean, not that people are rude or anything in that sense, but it's something that you have to work a bit harder for rather than it coming so naturally.
So tell me a little bit about what advice you can give people of color, children, girls growing up. I mean, what do you think? What advice would you give a young Tamil girl who wants to be a florist?
You know what? I would say just start. It's that simple. Just do it. And I say this because when I started the business, I had no plan. We had started as a rental company. We were buying product and then reselling it. And we had started renting product as well. It had nothing to do with florals when I first started. But I loved florals so much, and I knew that was something I wanted to take the business in. And then that's when I started going to school for it, doing, conferences, workshops. And I will always say that there are always going to be so many thoughts running through your head on why you shouldn't do something. Always, always. And sometimes you just need to bite the bullet and say, I'm doing it, and post it and publicly just put it out there, and somehow things will work out. I still am so shocked sometimes at the way my business has progressed, the people that I've been able to meet. And one of the things, especially for people of color, of any color, but I really love that they go out there and they put themselves out there. And for me, like years ago, I had started a YouTube channel for makeup. I love makeup, and that was
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
It's so fun. It's super fun.
Yeah, and so really, it's so funny to me that this is happening. It's just perfect timing. One of the girls, I had stopped making YouTube videos for a while because the business was just so busy and I didn't have time to kind of keep going with it. But one of the girls messaged me yesterday because I was saying how much I missed it. And she said, this is one of my subscribers. She said to me, you started YouTube at a time where no other Tamil girl was on YouTube. Oh. And it was just you. Like, it was me and maybe like 2 or 3 others. And it really hit me because I do remember watching YouTube videos of people who are not my skin tone, who are a lot lighter than me. And they would say, use this as a blush, for example. And I would put it on and I would look crazy because it just didn't work for my skin tone. And that's why I started my YouTube channel, was because I'm like, you know what? There are people out there who are feeling the same way I'm feeling, who are watching these tutorials and thinking, I want this to work for me. And so I started my YouTube channel. And from there, when I kind of wanted to start the business and I felt kind of shy about it, it was the same thing. It was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. It's very scary. It's very, very scary. And there are days where it can be unrewarding and you just feel like, what did I do? But honestly, I'm so grateful. Like, it's been a great ride, and I'm so grateful for people like you who are giving us this platform to kind of just say, hello world, here I am, So I would say just start, and it will be hard, but anything worth having takes hard work, and it'll be worth it. In the end, it'll be worth it. But definitely just start. And as hard as that can be, financially or maybe education-wise, there's such great resources on YouTube and a lot of Instagram personnel, floral industry people who kind of give you free materials and free advice and free education. So I would definitely say just put yourself out there and work hard at it, and it will come. It will come.
So for those people that sort of have that feeling that they want to, other than those people, where do you think it starts? Do you think it starts with education? Do you think that there should be, trade schools or somewhere where young girls, beautiful, young, pretty girls, that have all different skin tones can go to learn floristry or agriculture? Do you think that should be started maybe at an early age, or?
Oh, Yeah, for sure. And one of the things I think too is for floral people like myself, for people who own businesses, for people who hire freelancers and such, it would be awesome to have these programs in place where we can, you know, have an intern who is someone who might not be able to go to school for it, but they just need the help and they want to learn. And just even providing that and putting it out there. And I always say making the effort to not just go with the convenient choice, but to go with something or the person who's going to make it a difference, a positive difference in the way things work and the way things grow. And always remembering that in everything that you do with your business, trying to show some type of representation. For me, that's really important, is knowing that whenever I do something, I want to make sure that I'm representing people who don't look like me, people who maybe do look like me and they feel they're not represented enough, people who might have something that they're facing that I'm not facing, and trying to understand that. So I feel having a good, diverse, you know, background. And one of the things that we do is we have a lot of students who are just students who work with us as freelancers. And it takes a little
Oh, that's actually really awesome.
yeah, it takes a little more patience, you know, because they're not, you know, 100% well versed in everything that we're doing. But even like doing something like hiring my sister and her little friend, you know, like they're a lot younger than me.
Right.
It gives them a little bit of cash in their pocket. And then at the same time, it's opening them to a world that maybe they thought, I can't be a florist. You know, we're not florists, we're doctors or we're lawyers. Like, we don't do that. But I'm more than a florist, right? And this business is more than a florist. It's providing jobs for people. It's being a business owner. It's being someone in the community, giving back to the community. So there's so much that you can do with any business that you have, even if you're not a florist, that you can start looking at people and thinking, these people don't have the same privileges and the same experiences that other people might. So maybe making that active effort to kind of go in and say, I'm going to focus here until they kind of get their footing.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Really great advice. What do you want people to know about Ruth Chin events?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. I would just say I love what I do, and I feel so passionate and so blessed to do what I do. And I would just love people to follow along if they feel like they just want like a new friend in the industry, or just someone to kind of be a voice. You know, a lot of people who are feeling right now, they don't know what to do. Like, maybe they don't experience the same things that we've been experiencing as people of color. And I feel like connecting yourself with people of color is a great way to begin, you know, like just following them, encouraging them, sharing an Instagram post, you know, purchasing something from them, just really supporting them and making an active choice to support them. That's the way that you can be a great ally. And so for people who, you know, are like, Ruth, who are you? I love to talk, as you can tell. I love to talk. I love to make friends. If for anybody who wants to get to know a little bit more about me, I have a YouTube channel. I have my website, you know, I have my Instagram. So I'm open and I'm ready, and I'm willing to be friends with anybody. So, but I love what I do. And I really hope that when people see my work and when people see me, that they can feel the passion and the gratitude that I have for the business and for flowers in general and for the industry through my work.
Well, we've only been talking a short time, and I can already feel the passion and you know, your excitement for what you do. It's definitely a tough business. It's definitely not all glitz and glamour, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work, and but I love that we're friends.
Yeah.
And I love your website and your work. It's absolutely beautiful. And I want to just say thank you so much for opening up and sharing your story with us. I think it's important to get the diversity out there, you know, in the floral biz. We need to see, you know, more people of color, and hopefully this helps.
Yes. And thank you so much for, like I mentioned, for being an ally, for giving me this platform. I feel very grateful to be on here. Mayesh is a great company, so this is very exciting. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Ruth.
Yeah, thank you so much.